Uh, Once I had read somewhere that nature and culture, these two concepts are very complex in English language, and interestingly, I am linking these both together today, where I will speak about how nature consciousness come in popular culture in terms of Hindi films. There is two popular approach to comprehend nature. One is idealistic approach, where people thinks that nature has everything to fulfill the desire of humans on this planet. And other is realistic approach, which say that humans are excessively exploiting nature, and which leads to serious consequences in terms of climate change or global warming. So from this point of view, I start my talk. Uh, when I try to theorize nature consciousness in Hindi films, I categorize in four different, part. One is escapist, where filmmakers show that everything is okay, or just like Sab Changa Si. You can see this approach in various movies, especially Yash Chopra's movie, where you see Punjab, how Garden of Punjab and wonderful river, beautiful, plain land, sarso ke khet. So these all comes. And not only in Yash Chopra's movie only, there are various filmmakers, especially a very popular film of South, Bahubali, and this waterfall in Bahubali, how mesmerizing it looks. Another category relate nature with religiosity, and where it says that everything which is which is having nature are just because of God's grace. And films like these are Kedarnath, Agni Varsa, Dasavatar. For instance, in Kedarnath you see the whole landslide and flood came because God became angry because of commodification of religiosity or faith. In Dasavatar you see tsunami came. Why? Because God planned to kill the virus, and in Agni Varsa, for raining protagonists or characters go to do a big massive yajna or to please Indra Dev, who is god of rain. So this is how Hindi films imply nature with religious items. Third is nature savior versus nature destroyer. So here you see protagonist is nature savior or antagonist is nature destroyer. Protagonist fights with antagonist to save the nature. And in this category we can see films like Chris 3, where Krishna fight with Kal, who made a virus to kill humans, and other films like very B-grade movies of 90s, Jungle Love, Jungle Queen, and Hindi version of Tarzan type of movies. Fourth and main category, realistic approach, where filmmakers bring real issues related with nature in terms of scarcity of water, scarcity of good pure air or oxygen. So all this relation of nature and Hindi cinema comes in these four categories. Interestingly, when you see, all of us know and most of us know that Hindi cinema started in India by Lumiere brothers, but no one knows why Lumiere brothers came in India. I found that Lumiere brothers came in India to shoot some incidents related with nature. For example, there was a plague in Mumbai in 1896, and due to this plague, a massive scarcity of water happened, and a mob of 20,000 people or something like that attacked on police who were distributing, relieving material in terms of bread or foods, and police fired on these people, and most of them died. So Lumiere brothers just came to record all the incidents, and coincidentally they also premiered their five shows in Watson Hotel in 1896. So how interestingly the advent of cinema is related with nature in India. Moving ahead, we all know the pioneer of Hindi cinema or Indian cinema is Dada Saheb Phalke, and Dada Saheb Phalke also shot a movie called The Birth of a Pea Plant, and where he introduced time-lapse photography, in which he just planted a pea grain and shot all his growth in a plant. So how these things, cinema, the advent of cinema is related with somehow with nature in India. But when you move forward, when language came in cinema, like Hindi movies, that type of deliberate approach to make nature and films together and to show the nature, how the nature is important to audience, is not on a massive attempt. So what was happening, that there is consciousness of nature in Hindi films, but that was in a very sporadic manner here and there. So when this new wave cinema came and various filmmakers started bringing crucial subjects parallel to mainstream cinema, their filmmaker like M.S. Satyu made movies called Sukha in 1983, in which he showed the politics behind famine. And before M.S. Satyu, one crucial attempt in terms of a movie named Do Bund Pani was made by this famous K. Abbas. Yeah. So K. Abbas also showed water scarcity in Rajasthan area. What I am saying is, regarding realistic approach to dealing nature and Hindi films together, the whole idea is based on the scarcity of water and not other natural calamities or natural disaster or any things related with nature comes except scarcity of water. And this scarcity of water is especially based in rural areas. So rural is also important in terms of nature and Hindi cinema. And who popularized rural in all Indian people, according to Jayaprakash Chokse, it was Mahatma Gandhi. So Mahatma Gandhi, the idea of rural development of Mahatma Gandhi was such an idea. Various filmmakers of Gandhian era and Nehruvian era tried to put this idea in their film. So the rurality comes in Hindi films, and when rurality comes in Hindi films, various aspects of nature also comes. So finally, I want to say in conclusion that the link between nature consciousness and Hindi cinema is primarily based on the scarcity of water, and this scarcity of water is related with governmentality also, is related with our apathy towards nature also, in terms of we don't care, especially nowadays people are very sensitive toward nature, but when you see earlier water tap is opened in platform and in railway, water is leaking and inappropriate use of water, that type of things was happening. So regarding governmentality, what I want to say, state is deciding the relation between nature and people, and due to capitalist policy of a state, of Indian nation states, commodification of natural resources is happening on a wider scale in terms of pure water, water purifier, air purifier, organic food, pure air. So these all market and nature, how the nexus works. And again I want to say, of course there is a consciousness about nature in Hindi films, but this is just a consciousness or a coincidence, not a very deliberate effort to make a movement like thing. to save the planet or to restore the planet or to think about how we can preserve the nature. So Hindi cinema has to think on this issue very seriously. Most of filmmakers say that we are here to entertain people, but the educate proportion of films or elements of films cannot be ignored. So films do not work only to entertain, they also work to educate, to shape the ideas of viewers about various social, political, cultural phenomena. And especially films are important because they reach to a wide audience, including educated and uneducated both. So I hope that in near future we see more sensitive topics or deserving issues in Hindi films. One name is important because I am not saying that completely absence of deliberate effort to put nature in the cinema. There is nothing like that. There is an effort, but it's like in a very few number. So a filmmaker named called Neela Madhav Panda, who made this Kadvi Hawa recently in 2017, which deals with water scarcity in Bundelkhand region and how this water scarcity affect farmers, and then politics also came into the scene, and how this all affect rural people or common people to access nature or to enjoy or to use natural resources. So there are movies, but not in a very great number, which deliberately made to open up viewers' eyes about this concept that nature is important, and it's our duty. Because I think I recall a dialogue between recently I watched Matrix Resurrection, and I recall a dialogue in Matrix 1 where Smith says to Neo that humans are virus, they are just like cancer, they eat their providers. So we think about this, and through realistic approach, Hindi cinema should put a very hard effort to educate the audience about how they can preserve the nature. Thank you. Bro.
हो गया खत्म।